For a man who spent most of the past 20 years in exile and the past 8 months in jail, the figure of former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra still looms large over Thailand. His release from prison at the age of 76 after serving part of a one-year sentence for corruption and abuses of power during his terms as Prime Minister from 2001 to 2006 was headline news in Thailand.
That an American national on a repatriation flight has tested positive for hantavirus, while another has mild symptoms after leaving a cruise ship hit by a deadly outbreak of the virus. The U.S. Health Department has said both passengers who arrived back in the U.S. on the government charter plane traveled in biocontainment units out of an abundance of caution, the statement said.
And Mindanao, Philippines. Supporters of Philippines Vice President Sara Duterte have wrested control of the country's Senate, throwing into question a bid to impeach her that was, until now, widely expected to pass through Congress. Senator Alan Cayetano, a former foreign secretary during the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte, Sara's father and the country's head of state from 2016 to 2022, has been elected as Senate President.
That United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer is fighting for his political survival amid calls from parliamentarians for him to step down following the Labour Party's stunning loss in local elections. Backbencher Labour MP Catherine West urged cabinet ministers to move quickly to replace him, saying she planned to email her colleagues for the necessary support on Monday morning if no one else put themselves forward. That the makers of the documentary Gaza, Doctors Under Attack, which was dropped by the BBC, have won the BAFTA TV Awards in the current affairs category. The makers of the film slammed the BBC during their acceptance speeches at the awards on Sunday, renewing controversy over the broadcaster's decision to shelve the project before it was later aired by Channel 4.
And internet connections in Pakistan have reached 5.10 million in 2026, marking a major increase from 1.9 million in 2024. The growth reflects a significant expansion in the country's digital infrastructure, with a substantial rise recorded over the past year. Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif chaired a review meeting focused on the expansion of the information technology IT sector and government efforts to increase IT-related exports.
That the Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education, Lahore, has issued roll number slips for Intermediate Part 2 annual examinations 2026. According to Lahore Board spokesperson, a total of 192,300 in the examinations this year. BI's Lahore Chairman Tahir Javed said more than 130,000 regular students and 54,734 private candidates have been registered for the exam.
And a company in Soja has developed a compact prayer room to help tourist attractions and businesses better accommodate Muslim visitors. The product, called Prayer Space, was created by OM Kiki Co., a firm that manufactures welfare and support equipment.
That the Trump administration has expanded its crackdown on naturalized U.S. citizens by filing a new wave of denaturalization cases against individuals accused of fraud, terrorism links and serious financial crimes. The U.S. Department of Justice announced that federal authorities had initiated proceedings against nearly a dozen foreign-born Americans, including Indian origin businessman Debashish Ghosh, who allegedly defrauded investors of about $2.5 million. That Australia has named a new look squad for its upcoming ODI series against Pakistan, with selectors using the tour to test the team's depth ahead of the Bangladesh leg. Australia will play 3 ODIs against Pakistan in Rawalpindi and Lahore from May 30 to June 4. Mitchell Marsh will captain the squad, with regular ODI captain Pat Cummins and fellow fast bowlers Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc rested after playing in the Indian Premier League, IPL.
And high in the remote Hindu Kush, along the mountainous edge between Pakistan and Afghanistan, lies Gabral Valley. It is a place cut off by geography and season alike. For most of the year, and life moves with the rhythm of the land rather than any fixed measure of time. There are no strict calendars here. Instead, people read the signs of nature, the first fall of snow on the peaks, the changing of pasture, and the cold wind that signals what is to come. Each year, as October draws to a close, families begin to prepare for migration. It is a familiar and difficult routine. Homes are emptied, livestock is gathered, and belongings are packed with care. And entire communities move together towards lower and safer ground, often traveling to places such as Marden. They leave behind their houses, knowing they will be buried soon under heavy snow. By winter, Gabral Valley becomes silent and cut off, and a frozen landscape where movement is almost impossible.
That Justice Miangul Hassan Aurangzeb has called on the judiciary to encourage alternative dispute resolution and detail the Supreme Court's ongoing efforts to establish a mediation center. In remarks aired on television on Monday, the SC judge stressed the need for mediators to be referred more cases, saying, "For that, the courts have to be willing to refer cases to mediation and must never think that by doing so, they are shying away from their primary responsibility of adjudication." That The Legend of Maula Jat, the blockbuster film starring Fawad Khan and Mahira Khan, is making its debut in China, filmmaker Bilal Lashari announced on Saturday. The Legend of Maula Jat has broken into one of the most exclusive film quotas in the world, the first Pakistani film ever to do so, he wrote on X. The film will be in cinemas across the country from May 21.
And Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was told on Monday that Pakistan's information technology exports were expected to reach $4.5 billion to 4.6 BN, according to the Prime Minister's office, PMO. The development came as the Premier chaired meeting to review the affairs of the Ministry of Information Technology and Telecommunication.
That the walls of the medical room are charred black and the door appears to have melted half away in the flames. 10 days after an apparent petrol bomb was hurled through the synagogue window in the middle of the night, the smell of smoke still catches in the back of the throat when Rabbi Yehuda Black returned the morning after the attack on what he calls his gem of a synagogue, with its wall of stained glass windows and a ceiling carved with stars of David. He said he was overwhelmed with emotion.
And the Federal Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi visited the Safe City headquarters and chaired a special meeting to review the progress of the Islamabad Safe City project, which aims to transform the city into a smart and secure urban space. And the project is designed to enhance safety measures for residents and bring the latest technological advancements to the capital. During his visit, the Interior Minister examined the ongoing beautification and upgradation work at the Safe City headquarters. And he was briefed on the establishment of a new fusion center and an advanced control room that will play a critical role in managing the city's security operations. And these upgrades are part of the initiative to ensure that the Safe City project aligns with modern technological demands. And President Donald Trump will visit China from May 13 to 15, Beijing confirmed on Monday, with the US leader expected to discuss Iran and trade with his Chinese counterpart. Washington and Beijing have been at loggerheads over key issues ranging from trade tariffs to the Middle East war and Taiwan, which China claims as part of its territory.
This Mother's Day, we've rounded up some of our favorite celebrity social media posts about moms. From celebrating their own moms to celebrating their children for making them moms, some were bursting with love, while others were more quiet in their joy, and all of them touched our hearts.
The Moulton District Administration has approved 5 temporary cattle sale points across the city and surrounding areas ahead of Eid ul-Adha, according to a notification issued by Deputy Commissioner Nauman Sadiq. Cattle markets will be established in Fatima Jinnah Town, Jaswant Gar, Shujabjad, and Jalalpur Pirwala. The approved locations also include separate cattle and camel markets at Jaswant Gar.
Australia will use the upcoming white ball tours of Pakistan and Bangladesh to test their depth after naming squads featuring 3 potential debutants. Selectors said on Monday all-rounder Liam Scott has been included in the ODI squads for Pakistan and Bangladesh, with Victoria batter Ollie Peake joining him in the Pakistan squad. Clothes seller Lata Solanki used to face a devastating choice when India's summer heat hit dangerous levels: risk her health going door to door for sales or lose her income. But now the 42-year-old is part of an insurance scheme that pays out when temperatures hit a threshold, so she can stay home without jeopardizing her finances.
The Pakistan Meteorological Department, PMD, has issued an alert for glacial lake outburst floods. GLOF for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Gilgit-Baltistan. It emerged on Monday. According to the alert issued by the PMD on Sunday night, a moderate westerly wave was expected to enter the upper regions of the country. It said that the weather system was expected to hit KP and extend to Gilgit-Baltistan by Monday.
Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has been released from a prison in Bangkok after spending 8 months of a 1-year sentence there over a corruption-related charge. Hundreds of people, including the 76-year-old billionaire's family and political allies, greeted him on Monday, chanting, "We love Thaksin," as he left the Klong Prem Central Prison.
The government is considering reducing the income tax burden on salaried individuals in the upcoming budget 2026 to 27, while keeping salaries and pensions unchanged. According to a report by Dawn, Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb is in favor of lowering tax rates for salaried individuals and, if possible, increasing the taxable income threshold in recognition of the segment's outsized contribution to tax collection compared with other sectors such as retail, wholesale, exports, and real estate.
Oil prices rallied on Monday. Trump said Iran's response to a US proposal was unacceptable, raising supply fears as the Strait of Hormuz stayed largely closed. Brent crude futures climbed $4.16, or 4.11%, to 105.45 a barrel at 340. US West Texas Intermediate was at $99.80 a barrel, up $4.38, or 4.59 PC. Karachi. 4 officials of District Jail Malé were booked on Sunday over charges of intentional omission and negligence as an under-trial prisoner, UTP, allegedly involved in the recent kidnapping and murder of a trader, escaped from the prison on Saturday. Police said Shalatif Town Show Mumtaz Marwat said that a special programme had been arranged inside the prison on Saturday in connection with Marka-i-Haq. Later, when the jail administration carried out a head count of the inmates, one prisoner, namely Syed Tahir Naveed alias Polka, was missing.
Global politics is hurtling towards a multipolar system, the likes of which we haven't seen since the late 20th century. Several indicators bear this out. The global hegemon for the past 4 decades, the US, is experiencing a decline in its ability and willingness to project power outwards, as seen in its continued failure in Eastern Europe and the Persian Gulf, and in the increased reluctance and reticence of its allies to pick up its slack. Much of this decline stems from internal structural pressures: destabilizing inequality, lopsided growth and investment confined to finance and IT, polarized elite factionalism, and a turn to racist nativism and insularity as the response to these problems. In the rest of the world, China's stature as the premier industrial power remains uncontested, and its role as a provider of military prowess is growing rapidly. Coupled with Chinese liquidity-generating debt and investment-based infrastructure partnerships in many parts of the world, the demand for foreign patronage and support is being met by a new supplier.
The US-Israel war on Iran may not be over, but it has already underscored major changes in the geopolitical order. Whereas during earlier regime change operations, the US and other Western states were largely able to go in, heavily bomb foes and leave countries such as Afghanistan and Iraq in ruins, the Iranian ruling establishment has proven a tougher nut to crack. Though the US and Israel have caused immense damage where human lives and property are concerned, and many top Iranian political leaders and generals have been killed, the Islamic Republic has not fallen. Despite internal fissures before the war, even many of those Iranians critical of their rulers have rallied around their flag in the face of foreign aggression.
And oil prices rose in Monday morning trade in Asia after President Donald Trump said Iran's response to US proposals to end the war was totally unacceptable. Tehran sent its response via Pakistan, which has served as a mediator between the two sides, calling for an immediate end to the conflict and guarantees of no further US-Israeli attacks on Iran, according to Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency.
The global economic landscape of early 2026 presents a compelling duality. The metrics of nominal value and purchasing power have diverged, defining two distinct economic realities. As of the first quarter of 2026, the United States remains the world's largest economy in nominal terms, underpinned by a resilient domestic market and the residual effects of inflation.